anche questo dei piccoli principi da vedere
Sto ci vediamo un pezzo di aspetta.
Well, your face, right? What happened to the little captain? We sent it home. And for information, he's from Croatia. I'm also from Croatia. And he will apparently, as per new rule, go 14 days into the quarantine. So I think we are in a better place to be, right? Well, my name is Ividoš. I come from Croatia, from beautiful city of Dubrovnik. I have been with the company for about 20 years, yeah? This is my third, let's call it a crisis with the company. There was a financial crisis, right? Our stock went to $5. We were all wondering, are we going to make it? Did we make it? Yes. Good. So, we are confident that we will go through this one as well. So, we are heading down to okay, right? Take it easy, we are not going alongside the Coco Cay, we are going to Coco Cay. We will be anchoring in the area. As you are aware, all our fleet will be there, right? So, unfortunately, we will have to share the Coco Cay with some of the ship. We are still waiting for the schedule when we will be able to go in the Coco Cay, and there will be a lot of activities on the island. However, if you calculate properly, if there 10-15 ships, maybe once a week if we are lucky, right? Also, there's some discussion, we'll be heading to Miami. We'll ask the question, first question we'll ask, is crew going to be allowed to go ashore? You know how it's with the US mainland now, everybody's iffy. You know, nobody wants to see nobody around. So, however, we still have a little bit of assurance to go with all of us, right? As this virus spread around the way that it spread, there is a slight chance that, God forbid, we can still have it on board with the last bunch of guests that were on board, correct? So for 14 days, please use cautions, wash your hands oftenly, keep a little bit of distance. You can hug me, I'm sure, right?
Hello. I know these last few weeks have been strange and trying times, and I'm very proud to see how all of you have come together. Thank you for everything, your passion, commitment, and friendliness. You have represented the royal way flawlessly every single day. I'm sure, like me, you're watching and reading the news about COVID-19. Of course, it's concerning for everybody. Not only are we thinking about our own health and the health of our loved ones, as well as of all of our guests, we are keeping up to date with the experts who are working around the clock on the situation. And while many things are uncertain, what we do know is that we will get through this. As a company, we've taken many measures beyond our standard procedures to keep you and our guests safe and healthy. These include health screenings, temperature checks, and stepping up our very strict sanitation protocols. You have been an important part in all of this, and we have been successful in our efforts each day. Thank you. No doubt this is a situation that brings new developments more often than we'd like, but we have been through many situations like this in our 50 years at sea. And we have come out on the other and brighter side every single time. We know things will get back to normal, but it's unclear when that will be. The uncertainty has required us to review our entire business, and we have had to make challenging short-term decisions in order to adapt. Now we face the realities of ports closing around the world, more itineraries being impacted, and more guests unable to sail. We have to adjust as much as we can. And part of that includes making the difficult decision to temporarily pause the operation of our US-based ships for 30 days. As you know, we had to make the same decision for our Asia-based ships 30 days ago. This is one of the toughest decisions we have had to make because of this situation. For our crew members impacted by this challenging decision, specifics on next steps will be provided by your onboard executive team in the coming days. Your efforts have been nothing short of remarkable, and we appreciate everything you have contributed during these difficult times. Of course, you may have questions and concerns. Please know that we and your leadership team on board are here to support you. As we continue to build out the plan, as information becomes more available, your onboard leadership will set up meetings with you to provide the details that you will need. Thank you again for all that you do every day. We are a family and we're in this together, no matter where we are around the world. Thank you.
How does this virus work? How does it transmit? Where does it want to go? And let's protect ourselves. I'm Dr. Peter Lynn. I'm a family physician in Toronto, Canada. The coronavirus is a family of viruses that can cause as mild things as just a common cold, all the way up to SARS or MERS. These are these bad pneumonias that we're talking about. And basically what these viruses are, they look like a tennis ball with all these spikes sticking out of it. And depending on the type of spike, it allows that virus to attach to certain places. So some viruses, they have the spike that attaches to your nose. So basically you just get a common cold. But the SARS virus and this new virus that we're talking about has the spike that allows it to attach to the cells in your lung. And when it attaches there, it puts in information to make photocopies of itself. So it uses our equipment to make more viruses.
I'm declaring a public health emergency of international concern over the global outbreak of novel coronavirus.
Most of the coronaviruses live in animals. In this particular case, it was from Wuhan. There was a fish market where they were selling live animals. And the thought is that the virus was in a live animal, then it crossed into a human. But then what we found was that people were getting sick in terms of healthcare workers, in terms of family members that were looking after them, which now meant that the virus can pass from human to another human. Just like all viruses, it needs to reach a target, which is your lung. And it has to get there with your help. It has no feet and no wings. So therefore it needs us to move it there. So that's why we keep saying, don't hang around sneezy people because you're going to breathe it in. And don't touch your face because that's how the virus is going to get in. The masks are helpful, but they're not necessary because they're leaky. The ones that you and I buy basically have pockets here, so therefore the virus can get in. What the masks really do is they stop us from touching our face. If you're sick, we tend to mask you, so therefore you're not spewing out the viruses to other people sitting around you. The true people that have the real masks are the N95. Those are sealed. These are for the doctors that may be caring for the patients. So in the beginning, the coronavirus will cause kind of like flu-like symptoms or a cold. So people just get a stuffy nose, that kind of thing. But you'll understand that as soon as that virus starts manufacturing in your lung cells, they're producing all these copies of the virus, all of a sudden now you kill the lung cells. So now you can't exchange oxygen. And that's why one of the early symptoms is people get very short of breath and they tend to have a difficult time breathing, and that's why they end up in hospital. So currently, unfortunately, we don't have a direct treatment for the coronavirus, so we don't have a medication that can kill it off. And so it's really supportive. So in other words, a patient can't breathe, we give them oxygen, help them to breathe. They can't drink, so therefore we give them fluids to support them. Their kidneys begin to shut down, we help them with all those things. So it's a very supportive process. This is a new virus that we've never seen before. So our immune system, our army, are having a hard time figuring out what to do. So usually what we have to do is we make something called antibodies. So these are things that can grab onto the spikes that we see on the virus, and it'll get rid of the virus for you, and that will actually bring you back to good health. So therefore the elderly may have a worse outcome. And of course the young children, so the babies, their immune system is not so good either, so they may not make those antibodies as well. So just remember, your hands may be with virus. The virus cannot hurt you because it can't get through the skin. But the moment I do this, now I've brought the virus right to where it wants to go. So let's remember not to touch our hands to our face. So let's say you think that you might have been on a plane or you might have bumped into somebody that has it. What should you do? So the first thing is to contact a healthcare worker to tell them that potentially you have it. If you're feeling symptoms and you're going to go into a facility, call ahead. Okay, so whether you're calling the paramedics or whether you're calling the hospital or your doctor, just mention that you were on a flight. If you don't have any symptoms, then what we do is a little bit of a self-quarantine. In other words, we can just keep you away from other people, and so you don't go into parties, don't go with your friends, don't go into public transportation. So we can contain it very easily by making sure that you do a self-confinement, so to speak, for the, let's say, 7 to 14 days is the longest incubation time. So after that, if you're feeling well, then you don't have anything to worry about. So we get the facts right, then we don't have to be overly worried, but we do the right things so that we don't get the virus ourselves and that we don't pass it on to others. And if we look after each other in this way, this virus will have nowhere to go. It needs us to move it, it needs us to make copies for it, and if we don't help it, then the virus will stop. So we have the power to do that right now.